Well, good Monday. It is Labor Day, and thank you for joining us here on Wisconsin Weather Experts, right here on Fox Local. Now, Rob, it's a special day because not only is it Labor Day, and we're laboring it out, but it's also meteorological fall, my favorite season.
That's right, day one of meteorological fall, and I think we had a beautiful long weekend. We'll circle back to some of that in a bit, and we'll look ahead to what this first few days of this new season and new month have for us coming up in the show. A lot of exciting stuff to talk about today. But today, as you pointed out, Lisa, is Labor Day, recognizing the men and women who work to build America. Milwaukee, of course, celebrating today with its annual parade and Labor Fest. That's a tradition here in Brew City. Parade begins at 11 this morning, leaving Zeidler Square, so it started just about an hour ago at Zeidler Square, marching through downtown to Henry Meyer Festival Park. I'm sure they're getting pretty close there by now. And that's where Labor Fest will be until 5 this evening. You can enjoy live music, free activities, including bingo, wrestling, and a classic car show. All perfect outdoor activities on a day like today. Now, authorities are also keeping a pretty close eye on the water, right?
They definitely are, and especially since this is a holiday where people like to go out on the water one last time before maybe pulling the boats in soon. But keep in mind, as required by law, you must have a life jacket for each person on board of your boat. The DNR does urge everyone to wear one, and also be sure that you have a sober driver and are driving at a safe speed, especially since a lot of people are probably swimming with the nice weather around, at least in some of the smaller lakes where it's warmer.
That's right. Just because it's perfect boating weather doesn't mean that you get to slack off on some of the safety, please. We would like you to be safe and enjoy the rest of your weekend, the rest of astronomical summer, and the rest of meteorological fall. All right, let's take you overseas now. An incredibly important story here that we do have at least 800 people, sadly, are dead with new breaking news overnight from Afghanistan. 2,500 people hurt after an earthquake hit that country. The 6.0 magnitude earthquake happened late last night, as I said, and did destroy several villages in eastern Afghanistan. Taliban government, their officials say rescue operations are underway, and medical teams from the capital area are at the scene. We'll continue to have updates on that here on Fox 6.
We definitely will. Now take a look at this. Sunday's heavy rain in the Houston area that led to flooding and high water rescues across the city. During one rescue, a tow truck driver you saw there actually had to drive underwater with the tow cable just to get a vehicle out. Thankfully, the driver was involved. The drivers were able to make it out safely.
Right now, back here in Milwaukee, speaking of flooding, Sunday was the last chance for Milwaukee residents to drop off flood-damaged items free of charge for weeks now. The lines have been crazy. People have been spending their time cleaning out what the floodwaters destroyed, and the city's 2 drop-off location sites were open for free, and it was with extended hours to accommodate the need. The Department of Public Works tells Fox 6 that as of early Sunday afternoon, they saw nearly 27,000 vehicles during the free period. We caught up with people yesterday that were still hauling items.
Everyone's going through so many uncertainties at the moment, so this definitely helps people out.
You take advantage of it because it's free, number one, and they've been, a lot of guys is dumping trash all over the city.
Sunday was also the last day to request a free curbside pickup. Many residents today told us they think the city should extend the no-cost period at drop-off centers for flood victims. The 2 drop-off sites will go back to their regular summer hours now, which means they're open Tuesday through Sunday from 7 a.m. until 3 p.m.
Well, the Red Cross will hold multi-agency resource centers for people affected by the flooding. They are all scheduled for this week. On Tuesday, they'll visit King Community Center on Violet. Is that how it is? I thought there was a misspelling, so there we go. Wednesday, McCarthy Park Pavilion in West Allis. And then on Saturday, Mary Ryan Boys and Girls Club on Sherman. They run from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day. Multiple agencies will be present, including Wisconsin Food Share or SNAP, Wisconsin Office of Insurance, and the Salvation Army of Milwaukee County. If you are on social media, I'm sure you've heard that many people might get the chance to see this.
That's right, the
spectacular
northern
sight.
lights. It's possible tonight, thanks to a significant geomagnetic storm. People living all over the Great Lakes area, even parts of the lower Midwest, might, I want to stress that, might be able to see the amazing phenomenon, although it is not likely to maybe look quite as intense as some of these pictures in the file video. So a coronal mass ejection is expected to arrive late today on September 1st and then into September 2nd. Space weather forecasters say it could drive strong geomagnetic storms rated G3, possibly even G4. That means bright auroras could be visible much farther south than usual. The storms may also cause issues for satellites, GPS signals, and radio communications. One word of caution with this is that I hate to overpromise and underdeliver, so I want everybody to understand these are very variable conditions.
Correct.
Viewing conditions should be excellent tonight.
They should be good, and really some of the peak viewing conditions I was looking at with their forecast, that looks to be right around the sunset time, so 7 to 9. However, even if we dwindle past that peak viewing conditions, we could still see it. So conditions tonight, we're going to talk about that statewide.
Fingers crossed, and yeah, maybe you get away from the lights of the city, you might get quite the show. All right, let's talk about the not only statewide forecast, but go well beyond on this Labor Day as we kick off our regional outlook.
Yeah, let's take a look because it is Labor Day, and as we move through the rest of the day today, we will have a lot of sunshine. Only a little bit of cloud cover possible this afternoon, but even if we do have a few clouds, no worries. They're not going to bring us any kind of rain. Temperatures will be more so in the low to mid 70s near the lakefront. Remember, we have that easterly breeze, about 5 to 10 miles an hour continuing today, so that will keep it cooler lakeside. Areas inland will be several degrees warmer in the mid to upper 70s. Tonight, we talked about the potential of seeing the aurora borealis. Right now, we're looking to have clear to mostly clear skies statewide. So the further north you are in Wisconsin, of course, you could have the best viewing conditions, but we also could still see it here in southeastern Wisconsin, including Milwaukee. The best thing you want to do is get away from the city lights, get to a darker area, and let your eyes adjust for about 10 minutes or so. The more vibrant colors will show up better on your camera. So have it on night mode and see if you can capture some awesome pictures and send them in to us, or we can talk about it tomorrow. Let's take a look, because not only is today Labor Day, it is meteorological fall. Yes, that begins today, and as meteorologists, we classify meteorological fall as the entire months of September, October, and November, where the temperatures resemble fall-like conditions. Now, according to our calendars, that isn't going to allow fall to begin until September 22nd. That's what we call astronomical fall, when the days start to seem shorter, as we may say. Now, the day isn't actually shorter, but we have the sun that passes south of the equator. That means that we have less daylight and more darkness. So yes, we're going to be heading into the months of the year where fall is refreshing, but then winter, it's going to be here before you know it. Speaking of temperatures, fall and winter even ahead, we are looking at fall normal high temperatures, because this is the time of year where we start to see our normal high temperatures drop as we head through the upcoming months. And we typically should still see our high temperatures in early September in the upper 70s, but notice as we progress through the end of the month, highs drop about 10 degrees into the upper 60s, and then in October we go from the 60s to 50s, and then seeing the 40s return by November. We are seeing some cooler temperatures not only today, but notice the eastern half of the United States, especially around the Great Lakes, we're expected to see below average temperatures here. So we're going to talk about those temps coming up. The heat right now is continuing to have bigger impacts across the West Coast, especially in areas like Idaho, Oregon, and Washington. That's where they're likely to have potential record-breaking heat. We are talking about temperatures in the 90s to 100s in that zone. Right now, some of that heat is also continuing along the West Coast south near Phoenix, but that is going to be very hot for them this time of year. Cooler temperatures, again, stretching from areas like Milwaukee to Toronto, where we are in the 70s. So very comfortable here locally, but we are going to zoom further north into Canada. That's where we have two cold fronts that we are tracking, not only going to bring us some of the cooler air to the north of that, but it also is going to bring us the chance of showers and thunderstorms in the forecast later on this week. Let's talk about the temperatures first, because statewide across Wisconsin, we have been very lucky this holiday weekend. High pressure has been in control. We have had very quiet, calm, sunny, and comfortable weather. Dew points have been in the 50s, and our temperatures today look to remain in the mid to upper 70s. Here's what we're tracking, though. The heat not going to stay here for long. We are looking to have one of those fronts move through on Wednesday. That then brings us the chillier air for this time of year that will sit with us not only on Wednesday, but through Thursday, Friday, and even into the weekend. So even though we are heading into the first week of September, fall-like conditions are going to be here before you know it, where you'll need to have some sort of jacket. What we're tracking also in terms of impacts, it's about the rain across the Central Plains. We've had a continuation, unfortunately, of rainy conditions there all weekend long with an area of low pressure, and this zone has already seen about 2 to 4 in some spots even 5 inches of rain. So there is a continuation of a threat in this zone for heavy rain, which could lead to some flooding. Back here at home, though, our temperatures not impacted too much with any kind of rain, but it is going to get a little bit cooler as we head into Thursday. That's where we are looking to at least have a cooler start, with temperatures dropping into the 40s and highs by the end of the week in the low to mid 60s. That will be about 15 to some areas, possibly even 20 degrees below where we should be this time of year. So fall is officially here. We will be quite cooler compared to where we should be this time of year, but at least we're starting off the week with some of the warmth and no rain. When those cool temperatures arrive, the rain's also going to arrive with it. So as we take a look at our exclusive Fox weather model, we are looking to stay clear, dry, and sunny statewide through the rest of your Monday. Clear viewing conditions tonight for the potential of seeing some northern lights. Then we're watching northwestern portions of the state as we head into Tuesday afternoon and evening. That's when the first front's going to move through, and it will gradually start to put in some showers early. Better chances of showers and storms really move into Wisconsin as we head late Thursday into Wednesday morning. That will give us here locally in southeastern Wisconsin the chance of a few showers early Wednesday, and then bringing more showers with some embedded thunderstorms in by Wednesday afternoon and early evening. And we are not favored to see severe weather with this event, but that being said, some pockets of heavy rain can cause blinding visibility if you're driving, as well as lightning being a threat for kids that may normally walk home from school. Probably want to have them take the bus or pick them up on Wednesday. We'll continue to see another chance, though, of some showers come Friday, but other than that, the big story, it's going to be the cooler temperatures coming in with the rain. So as we take a look outside, what we know that's coming ahead makes you probably want to get out and enjoy some of the nice conditions right now. We're going to continue to at least have a beautiful day with the 70s and sunshine staying around.
Make the most of it. And of course, a lot of you we know spent the Labor Day weekend maybe on the beach, but that doesn't necessarily come without its concerns, right? There are some risks and health concerns, some health advisories on many coastal and even Great Lakes beaches. Fox's CB Cotton has the details, as experts say some beaches are dealing with fecal contamination.
Thousands of Americans are flocking to beaches to soak up the last bits of summer sun this Labor Day weekend, but taking a dip along the U.S. coastline might be risky.
The rest of the coastal United States and even Great Lakes beaches, where they tested for this fecal indicator bacteria.
Beaches from Florida to Maine to New York are under advisories about their water quality, which have been tested for elevated levels of bacteria in connection with fecal waste.
Nobody wants to be swimming in poopy water. We're talking about nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, skin rashes, ear infections.
The advisories are discouraging some beachgoers from going into the water, since animal and human waste can contain parasites and pathogens, leading to various sicknesses, while others are taking the risk.
I have no concerns about the level of fecal and bacterial matter.
The ocean, by its nature, is pretty, I'm not going to say sterile, but it's clean.
But this isn't the first year U.S. beaches are facing this issue. In 2024, roughly 2/3 of beaches nationwide had at least one day of potentially unsafe fecal contamination levels. That's according to environmental experts who say outdated water and sewer systems are allowing for sewage contamination to get into swimming water.
We can reduce stormwater runoff pollution with what's called green infrastructure.
Experts say severe weather can also overwhelm sewage systems, contributing to this issue. In New York, CB Cotton, Fox News.
Yeah, great reminder, of course, we're all in one big ecosystem here, so whatever we do in one part of the world sometimes ends up in spots that we do not want it, as the man said, poopy water. Nobody wants to swim in poopy water. Well, I doubt you saw any of that on your trip. When we get back, we're finally going to get the lowdown on where Lisa's been all this time, and some pretty cool pictures, too. Stick around. All right, welcome back to Wisconsin Weather Experts right here on Fox Local and the Fox 6 YouTube channel. So while Lisa was away, we got many questions. Where is she? What's she doing? And I said, just wait, just wait, just wait. So we've waited long enough. Where were you? What's going on?
Well, that's a great question. I took a nice trip to the Pacific Northwest, which included Seattle.
Okay.
I did make a stop at Rob's homeland in Canada, Vancouver,
All right.
and then made my way up to Alaska. So there's kind of the long trip that I made. I didn't go up to northern Alaska, but that's on the dream list for another trip one day.
All right. How much of that was boat versus plane?
Well, that's a great question. The plane ride was from Milwaukee to Seattle, but everywhere from Vancouver up north, that was all boat.
Oh, okay.
And so we'll go into this as the upcoming weeks. I'll kind of be pulling apart my trip bit by bit, and we'll be able to see it on the map.
Incredible stuff on your trip, that's for sure.
Definitely did. So Seattle is where we're going to start off, because while I am back here, I definitely am interested and educated in the history, the science, and even local connections. And I had some of this in Seattle. Now, Rob, I'm going to ask you, have you ever seen this piece at the Art Museum in Milwaukee?
I believe I have. Yeah, I was going to say, why does that look familiar? And then I realized that's the Art Museum in the background. So is that from Seattle?
This is actually from Milwaukee, from the Art Museum when I was there. But the reason why this is so cool is because this is a 2,000-piece artwork of blown glass, each one blown separately by the artist of Dale Chalui. Now, there's another display of his artwork which can be viewed at the Kohl Center in Madison. But why is his artwork in Wisconsin, you may ask?
I would ask that.
Why am I bringing this up in Seattle?
I don't know.
Well, in Seattle, this is Dale. He is actually from Tacoma, Wisconsin, or Tacoma, Washington, and he actually was introduced to glass art while studying interior design and architecture at the University of Washington. Now, after earning enough money for graduate school, being a commercial fisherman in Alaska,
Oh wow, that's the hard way to earn that.
Right? He worked his work to get that money. He actually came to the University of Madison, believe it or not, and got his graduate degree there while studying glass blowing, which was actually the first program in the United States ever to have glass blowing back in 1966.
Really?
He received his Master's of Science degree in sculpting in 1967, and then he went on to travel the world, see the artistic side of things. But when I was in Seattle, I was able to visit his gallery and garden that has a museum to show his artwork. And his artwork is spectacular. We're going to go through it, and he's actually a renowned artist where his artwork can be seen not only here locally in Wisconsin, but around the world as well.
Cool.
So if you are interested in this, he starts off making these very unique, just abstract drawings, and then takes this to make his artwork.
Okay.
So he has, again, keep in mind, everything is just made
This
of
is all glass?
And it's
Wow.
the entire room. I mean, these are massive
That looks
pieces,
like a
not
dress.
small.
Tell me no one
Doesn't
wears
it?
that.
No,
No,
I don't
okay.
think so. That would be
Probably
uncomfortable
weigh
glass.
1,000 pounds.
That's me standing underneath this whole room where the ceiling was all individual pieces of blown glass. He had massive rooms, which is the front and back I put side to side, where you could walk through this rainforest of spectacular array of colors, which to get those colors, they actually can use chemical compounds to bring in and enhance some of those bright colors in the room. He has, again, lots of things, and this is
gorgeous.
massive, of different glass
that all on a
spheres and a
canoe?
boat. Yeah, it's in a boat.
Okay.
And he has a lot of glass and mirror on the bottom of it, so it reflects it, making it look like water. Also, if you take a peek look in this greenhouse-looking building, you can see the needle, the Seattle needle in the background.
sure.
So all of the garden and inside, this is all glass.
Wow, that tree's glass too?
Yes, the tree is glass too. So it's really, really an amazing place to visit. And I thought it was amazing that not only is he from Washington, but he spent a lot of time here in Wisconsin and has some of his pieces here. So if you are wanting to see it, check it out at the local art museum in Milwaukee. You can also, again, go to Madison, and you can go to Seattle where you can see a lot more in person. But it was just spectacular to see the whole
Looks
demonstration.
fascinating. I'm nervous for his gallery, though. I mean, I know Seattle's not earthquake prone, but I'd like it to be farther from a fault line
I know.
if I were him.
And I asked about that because
Yeah.
a lot of this was outside. I'm thinking, how does it not blow away in the wind? And there's actually
Or tip over.
correct,
whatever.
right? There's big metal structures that these glass pieces are attached to, and it's going into the ground with concrete. So it's not like it's just on a little string where it's going to sway.
Still, all those things hanging from the ceiling, that makes me a little nervous.
I know.
At least he's not in like California, which is, yeah, you could never have a glass museum in California. That would be
And
a foolish adventure.
He's still alive today. He only wears that eye patch because he was actually in a car accident, so he didn't always have it. But again, a world-renowned artist.
Fascinating. Thank you for sharing. We'll be back with more Fox 6 weather experts right here on Fox Local. I think we can. All right, welcome back to Fox Local, and of course the Wisconsin weather experts. Wonderful trip vicariously through Lisa there. And we're going to go on a little trip of our own here with our viewer question.
Yes, and we have a great viewer question from Raymond in Cudahy. He asked, what's the most challenging aspect of your job? And are there specific seasons or types of weather that are harder to forecast?
You go first.
This is a great question, right? Because each meteorologist is different.
Yeah,
we have different experiences. I definitely think one of the harder things to forecast is winter weather.
Okay.
Only because we have the lake, the temperatures are going to influence everything.
Sure.
And sometimes with winter weather, especially if we have a squall line or not a squall line, but an enhanced snow band, we sometimes may not know exactly where that's going to be until the event happens. So when people are saying, well, you know, we got a lot more snow than you predicted, it's hard to predict where those bands are.
Sure.
So I think that's probably one of the most challenging things is just figuring out where is the really heavy snow going to fall.
And we have also like so many smaller things that influence those numbers, like topography. There are some areas where we get a little bit of orographic lift where the earth kind of rises up a little bit, little elevation to kind of boost numbers there. And then, like you said, the water to snow ratio is off, lakeside versus inland.
Very much so.
It's very tricky. I also find that the most fun. I would rather forecast winter weather than severe weather. And I'm probably an outlier in our meteorological community because there's always, you know, everybody's out there chasing storms. But that happens like this. Whereas with, winter weather, it's almost like hurricane forecasting. You get some time, you get to plot it out, you get to see it coming, and then you get to live in the now and play it out. But yeah, I would agree. That's probably one of the most challenging. The most rewarding, though, is just being able to help folks out. I mean, yeah, we don't always get it right, but we usually are able to give you a pretty good heads up. And, believe it or not, if you do the numbers, we're more right than we're wrong. So we'll take that as a win for sure. If you have any questions just like that one, or maybe it's about, a crazy cloud you saw or some sort of meteorological phenomenon that you want an answer on, please don't hesitate to shout us out and send us that. We'll answer them. We answer them all. The QR code's right there. Some of them we answer on TV. Some of them we just hit you a quick email back to give you whatever it is you were looking for. But either way, give us the information. And we'll have another episode of Wisconsin Weather Experts for you tomorrow, same time, same place. See you then.